Assalamu alaikum. Is my voice clear?
Yes,
I
sir.
will
Clear,
yes,
sir. Good
clear,
afternoon, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. Good day, and we will join our lecture for today. It will be about architectural design methods. I will share the presentation at first. Okay, is the presentation clear for all?
Yes,
Are
doctor.
you?
Yes, doctor.
Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, okay. Okay, architectural design methods. In the beginning, we will need to discuss or give some explanations what we mean by design. What is design? Design is a word that means different things to different people. In dictionaries, the word is described as mental plan. Then other definitions, it means preliminary sketch or pattern or construction or plot or invention. Even among those closely involved with the built environment, there are considerable differences in interpretation. Architects, for example, may interpret design as being the production of drawings and models to show what a new building will actually look like. Design is the arrangement of lines or forms which make up the plan of act with special regards to the proportions, structures, moment, and beauty of work. Taking into account the personal needs of the client, such as physical or emotional, or spiritual and practical, it is always investigate right from the beginning of a design to the completion, irrespective of whether it is a residential or commercial project or etc. So the human needs for comfort, security, privacy, aesthetic satisfaction are always considered. These are some examples of the buildings or architecture that reflect what we are said there before. So generally, design speaks of the creative process. So it is a creative process by which art and science and logic are brought together to solve the problems and create unique solutions. Who is the designer? Now we can check who is the designer. Designer is a person that is primarily involved in the design of forms and spaces. This is from the point of view of the architects. So the designer should have good creative skills, imagination, and artistic talent. The designer should know how to deal with compositions. What is architectural design? Architectural design is the best possible use of the available space functionally and aesthetically. Architectural design is the design of space which has been created by structural boundaries and the human interaction within these boundaries. So we have the human needs and the structural boundaries. It can also be the initial design and plan for use, then later redesigned to accommodate a change purpose or a significantly revised design for adaptive use of the building shell. So now, why is architectural design important? Here we can explain. Good architectural design will not only make a space look and function better, it can have a significant impact on mood and well-being. Let's take a historical background of the meaning of design, and especially architectural design. In architectural education, generally, there are two schools or movements related to architectural design. They give explanations in these architectural schools or movements, what we mean by architectural design. The first one was the Beaux-Arts, which established in France and later transferred to America. And the second school or movement, the Bauhaus, which established in Germany and then in Europe later. The Beaux-Arts school or movement give fundamental lessons to learn about the classical styles. It was concerned and focused on studying historical architecture as a type, which can be followed for the future architecture without studying the basic principles as a base for architectural design. So they are focused on the use and also using stones and timber. Like these examples in ancient cities or architecture like Roman and Greek. This is the Pantheon in Rome. We can see the classical styles. So here, as we said, the type or studying the styles. And one of the pioneering persons or key persons who involved in this Beaux-Arts, Vitruvius. This person give us three main points that we must take it in consideration when we'll design architecture or a building. The first, commodity, then delight, the third one, firmness. So these are the three main points that we must take in consideration when we'll design a building or any design. The other school or movement, we called it the Bauhaus. I think most of you who are related to architecture or civil engineer, they know what we mean by Bauhaus. The Bauhaus school searched for different solutions or unique forms which must reflect the function of the designed building and construction materials and structural systems use steel, reinforced concrete, and glass. This is the curriculum of the Bauhaus. We can see it because it is in Germany. This is in German. Then you can see it here in English. They studied basic courses, and also they have workshops related and teach the students how to deal with materials like that. This is the curriculum of Bauhaus. The main aim of Bauhaus to mix between art and technology to get a new unity. This is the main phrase or the main goal of the Bauhaus. These are the masters of the Bauhaus. One of them is Mies van der. This is the main person in the Bauhaus, one of the manager of Bauhaus. He gave us some phrases. One of his phrases is less is more. Less is more. And also he explained machine aesthetics, human identity. These are the goals that he mentioned when he teaching in this school, Bauhaus. Also, there was Le Corbusier, one of the key figures or persons in that period, and especially his principles taught in the Bauhaus. He also mentioned that machine for living, a house or the building, it must reflect or similar to a machine for living. And he gives some principles for that and some points that the architect or the student must follow when he'll design. In the mid-20th century architectural design, from the many changes occurred in the architectural education. First of that, they are focusing on aesthetical factors more than technological factors. Also, they appearing in new behavioral, social, and psychological studies as a base for architectural education. There are also the role of environment in architectural education. This is after the mid-20th century that the changes and what happened in that period. For they creating methodology to solve the problems by using logic and systematic design. Systematic design, like this, one thinkers of that period, David Cantor, he gave a theory of a place, gave us a theory of a place that physical environments take on significance as a result of interaction of three domains: physical, local, activity performed in that local, and the meanings assigned to that union of place with activity. Constituents of places, physical activities, and meanings. These are the main goals that we have to fulfill in any design or in any building. Also, one of the key persons or figures in that period, Christopher Alexander. Christopher Alexander in 1972. Christopher Alexander published his book, Design Methods, in which he described the design process. This process he confirmed as a process for searching for methods which will improve the quality of design. Also, in his tonic book, Pattern Language, this is another book he published, he guided to put suitable solutions for different parts and functions. So this is an explanation of the ideas, or what Christopher Alexander told us if we want to teach design. At first, he gave us that architectural design is like an architectural problem. It is a problem, a bigger problem. So if we want to solve this problem, we have to divide this big problem to small problems, and then to solve these small problems, and then to fit and gather and merge between them to get a good design. So the good design, it means to fit and to solve the problems, different problems of architectural design or the design of a building. So it means the good design, it means a good fit. There are usually good fits between theory and method or strategy. You called it or said strategy. Now we are talking about architectural design methods. There are other design methods or processes we can find in the modernism architecture practice as follows. The concept of form giver, which related to the big architects like Frank Lloyd Wright, Walter Gropius, Mies van Roo, Le Corbusier, in which they follow main design principles, that the form give us a meaning. The concept of functional architecture, which related to program requirements and functions relationships. The concept of building as symbols. Building must give us a meaning, like a symbol. The concept of criteria and control, which use in design projects focusing on decisions, context, and environment. Here is a sketch or a diagram how to see the process or the methods, how we can begin from the beginning, the design thinking, and then to research, observe, visualize, create, brief, and crit, and response, and then evaluate. It is like a circle. Here are some definitions of architectural design methods from some of the thinkers or theorists. Find correct physical elements for the structure or the system. This is by Christopher Alexander in 1965. Create decisions with possibilities of suspicious and wrong. This is from Esmo in 1962. Or create a great complicated job. by Jones. Definitions of architectural design method: the best solution for many real requirements and needs for many special situations. Also, this is one of the thinkers. Imaginative jump from the current facts to the future possibilities. These are different definitions of what we mean by design methods by different thinkers. It is a creative activity to find a new and useful thing not occurred before, or it is compromise between certain needs or requirements and design determinisms. Or it is a change is created in artificial things, or create a suggestion to change existing thing to a new, better thing. These are many different definitions these thinkers gave us for design method. All these definitions focused on two things. We conclude from all that definitions or submissions by these thinkers, we can conclude and focus on two things. First, the activities and processes which performed by the architect for the whole architectural work from the beginning to the end till the implementation of the work. This is the first point. And the second point, the outcomes of the architectural activity which performed by the architect, the outcome. So design methods in architectural schools. Now we are discussing what the design method, they use it in architectural schools. According to Jones, we can divide design methods to first, the beginning, then preparation, third, proposal making, fourth, evaluation, 5, action. This is in the architectural school. And now we will go to explain each point. Beginning, it means to define and clarify the problem which must solve and find possibilities for solving this problem. This is the beginning. The student or the architect, when he begins his design, this is the first point. The second point, the preparation. This point, he gathering and analyzing informations and facts which are related to the problem. It is the program or the brief stage. It contains a brief report of the requirements of the project. There must be an analysis here to determine the main and important factors that must be solved. Also, site analysis and criteria which describe the main preferred characters of the architectural solution. The third stage, proposal making. Proposal making through creating ideas and preparing proposals for the buildings. This stage can get longer time for creating or creation and also development. We can call this stage as synthesis. The first 2 points was analysis. Here it is synthesis. Then the fourth stage, we called it evaluation. So designer himself can evaluate his work or can be done by others, evaluation. And this is the evaluation of the lecturers or teachers when they saw the students' project, they gave them evaluation and critic. Here, designer begin to compare between the design solutions, aims, and criteria of the program to check between all of that. Then at the end, there must be the action, the fifth stage, the action. These are the drawings and specifications, preparation, submit for implementation. This is the final submission of the project. Notes about John's definitions. We can get some notes about that. It is a cyclic process. There is a feedback in this process. This is in the architectural schools, as we said before. Also, it was repeatable process, repeatable diagrammatical process. Now we can define the design methods in architectural offices. This is in the offices or companies or bureaus, which will be different from what they done in the schools. According to American Institute of Architects, we can divide design methods to first, schematic design. We determine in this stage the main characters of designing the building through diagrams and plans, elevations, and sections. The aim is to give primary decisions, which will be the base for the late stages. It contains a located project on the site and then cost approximation, space layout, movements, and relations. This is all in the first stage. The second stage is design development. They called it design development. Third, the preparation of construction document, and then bidding and negotiation. Fifth, administration of the construction contract. And I think the civil architect engineers familiar with that, because this is in the offices, which is different from what we done in the schools. So design method according to the behavioral studies, this is another approach. Most of the architecture theorists like Broadbent, Osborne, Gordon, these are main theorists in architecture, agreed that the most important thing in design methods is the process which happened in the mind of the designer. This is the main point. It related to the process or procedure that happened in the mind of the designer or the architect or the engineer. So this is a diagram I made it for that. And can we explain it? First, we can see here the input which it related to the current situation, which it means the informations, requirements, site, and resources. And here in the middle, we have the designer mind. The designer mind, we can, similar to we can see of the computer central processing unit. Here we can see the design process, and it depends on the skills, the knowledge, and experiences of the architects or the engineers. And then in the end, we can get the outputs, which is mean the new better things or the future, which means the drawings and specifications. This we can explain all of that, what we explained before, through this diagram. So, as a conclusion, we can divide architectural design methods into two main types. The first one, the black box design method, the black box. The second one, the glass box design method. And now we can go explain in details what we mean by black box and what we mean by glass box. It is unconscious. This is the black box, what we mean by it. Black box in design methods. It is an unconscious and hidden process which used by architects to design. It has happened in the mind, and what we don't know what happened in his mind. And here the stages of this method can be divided to analysis of informations and requirements, then the idea in the mind, and then conception or concept that put on the papers or on model, and then development. This is the black box design method. The other method, glass box design method. It is conscious. The first one is unconscious. Here it is conscious and a clear process which used by architects to design. The stages of this methods can be divided to analysis of informations and requirements, synthesis, as we said before, that through submitting proposals, and then evaluation, or critiquing, and then development. Here are the differences between these two methods, the black box and the glass box. In the black box, the architect mind looks like a closed box, while in the glass box, architect put each stage of his design with diagrams, so it is cleared on the papers, but the black box is closed in the mind. Also, design methods in the black box has hierarchy stages, beginning with trying to solve the main problem, then to solve the parts of the problems. It begins from out to in, from the general to the details, from the public to the private. While in the glass box methods, the design methods has hierarchy stages, beginning with trying to solve the parts of the problem, then the main problem. It is different. It begins from in to out, while in the black, it is out to in. Here, it's in to out, from the details to the general, synthesizing these solutions to reach the puzzles, then to reach the best solution. In the black box, the main design decision will take place in the first and beginning stage, while in the glass box, the main design decision will take place in the final and late stage. This is the differences between these two methods. In the black box method, one idea developed within many later stages, while in the glass box method, many general ideas then to choose the best proposal according to the defined criteria. In the black box method, the owner submit the problem and the designer should solve these problems and submit solutions, while in the glass box method, the owner and the designer working together as a team to solve the problems and submit solutions. So now we'll check what are the problems with this method, the black box. There are some problems with this method. It was ambiguity of the design thinking and decisions making. It is not clear. It's focusing on form rather than function. They're focusing on the form, not on the function. Decisions will be unconscious and not clear. Choosing one fast solution and not discovering other solutions. This is the problems with this method. Also, it divides the process between the owner problem and the designer solution. Also, this method, the black box method, generalization of taking the design decision will lead to general and not perfect solution. So all of that are the problems of this method. Now we will check the problems of the glass box method. Also, there are problems. First, when dividing the general big problem to small detailed problems to find solution to these problems will make gathering and synthesizing these solutions very difficult and may lose the creativity of the design. Also, one of the problems of this method, the glass box method, formation of the problem may change within the different stages of the design process and methods. So the architect must reformation this problem again and again. Now, after we'll check these problems of the black box method and the glass box methods, we can give a new compromise design method. This is a new compromise design method that we gather the good things from the black box method and from the good things in the glass box method. This method divided to 4 stages as follow. We can divide it to 4 stages. First, analysis. It is a wide period of thinking of the idea. Analysis. And then synthesizing by submitting proposals. Synthesizing by submitting proposals. Third, evaluation. The process to find and choose one proposal. Evaluation. or the critique of the design, and what that we can do with our students. Then development, working on the chosen proposal. Chosen proposal, we can develop it here. Characters of the compromise design method. These are the characters what you have taken in consideration or we can think of. Transparent idea formation and thinking. This is transparent idea formation and thinking. Serial thinking process from the parts to the wholeness, from the parts to the wholeness. Also, the main design decision will take place in the end of the process. The main design decision will take place in the end of the process. Fourth, submitting many proposals. Submitting many proposals. Then, good relationship between architect and owner. Then, focusing on teamwork. Teamwork, this is very important in the design methods. So I think, Yani, this we can take it in consideration when teach our students design, focusing on teamwork. Also, good relationship between research and design. Research and design, not just design. We ask our students to make research before the design. That we had done with our students in the graduation project. There are Advanced Design 1 to make a research, and then in Advanced Design 2, they have to design in relation or according to this research. Also, objective decisions making, objective, not subjective, objective. Then submit research report beside architectural drawings. Here, a framework, or you can see this is a very important diagram that I made for this process. First, we have analysis, and then we have synthesis, and then evaluation, and then development. This is the design method framework. I put it here from all of that explanation and these definitions. First, we have the general analysis. In general analysis, we can get planning, the goals of the project, planning and goals of the project, and then we have to focus to analyze the site analysis. Then also we have functional analysis. Functional analysis, also this is very important. And also symbolic analysis. This is all lecturers or teachers to ask the students to make their design a symbolic, to give a meaning for the design. Because the design or the project is a message that the giver or the architect give to the sender or to the client, receiver. Also, we can give or analyze examples. We called it case studies. Also, we have special analysis which affecting these main factors. It's the types of the factors, the possibilities, advantages and disadvantages. Also, we ask our students to do that, to check the advantages and disadvantages of these examples, of these sites, and so on. Also, after we will finish this stage or the analysis, we can go to the synthesis. In the synthesis, we ask the student to give us the proposals, and also for each factor to give solution. Like for the site analysis, there are some problems to solve these problems. Or functional analysis, also there are a relationship between the main functions of the project. Here we can give proposals for each factor, similar examples, and so on. And then to reduce the proposals, after we're checking this analysis, we can reduce the proposals to go to the main or the best proposal that we have to involve and depend on to design our project. And then we can go in detailed proposals like giving plans, elevations, and sections, and so on. Then after we'll do that synthesis, we can go to evaluation. Evaluation, this is the critic of the lecturer or the teacher to evaluate the proposals of the design of the students or the architect. Then depends on general criteria. We must have general criteria for evaluation. So to get the best proposal according to these criteria. And then after we will finish the evaluation, the student or the architect can work again to develop as a proposal or design to submit it to get a developed best proposal, the final design of his project. Now we will go to explain each stage of that in details. General analysis, the first stage. The resources of general analysis, what are the resources that we have to depend on? First, references in libraries or in the website. Also, site visit. This is very important for the architect or the student to get a site visit to check all the factors that affecting the site analysis. Also, similar project visit. This is very important, but we have leakage in that and with our students. We must teach our students to go and to see similar projects because some of these students don't know what they are designing. They don't visit these similar examples. So this similar project visit is very important. Also interviews with experts, like the student who are designing a hospital, for example. If he want to design a hospital, he must visit a doctor. If it is a general hospital, he can visit and make interview with a doctor. Or if it is eye treatment hospital, this student or this architect must interview with a specialized doctor in eye treatment to get information from these experts. Also, a designer thinking. This is very important. This is depending on the talent or skill of the student or the architect. This is for general analysis. All these resources would lead the designer to what to do. These questions, these words, what to do. It means the requirements, what to do, requirements or the program. Then why to do according to the goals, why we are doing that, and then must link with the goals of the project. And then how to do, it means the methodology or methods or the procedure of the design. Also, where to do, the site. It means the site, we have to analyze the site and to see where to do this design. And then to whom to do, the owner or the client. These questions or words, very important, the architect or the student to answer. What to do, why to do, how to do, where to do, to whom to do. Then the stages of general analysis. What are the stages? Here we can put these stages like work plan, then analysis of project requirements and activities to reach the program and the spaces, and then site analysis, as we said before, site analysis. Also functional analysis, and this functional analysis related to the relationship between the spaces or the rooms, and also the standards. Standards is very important with the relationships. Also spaces characteristics. This is the standards. Relationship between spaces, as we said. And then we can go to symbolic analysis. Symbolic analysis, this is what we mean by giving meaning to our project. Meaning. It is a message, so this message must have a meaning. And then case studies, this is the analysis of similar examples. And now we can get to end of our presentation for today, and thank you for listening and best wishes, inshallah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for the nice presentation.
Thank you, best wishes, and I think I hope to be useful for you. And you can also, I will send the presentation to the human resource. Maybe can be any benefit for any or useful for anyone. Can check it later, inshallah. Thank you very much and best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.